going? Gdje idemo?
Serbia. Mi za Niš.
Hello vegan adventurers, so our summer in Slovakia is over and we're traveling back to Serbia, to Niš. This vlog will also explore Zaova lake where I'm also gonna swim. Many organizations are studying humanity's effects on soil degradation, erosion and eventual desertification, but not willing to emphasize the final connection of dots to animal agriculture. According to United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, nearly 20 million acres of arable land is lost each year due to desertification, and the primary reasons are deforestation due to cultivation of crops and pasture, overgrazing from livestock, eating away grasses and eroding topsoil with hooves, intensive farming stripping away nutrients in soil. Overgrazing by livestock is the principal land problem related to desertification as indicated in the article, and according to the UNDDD, nearly 20% of all the degrading land globally is cropland and 20 to 25% rangeland. Understanding that over 70% of the global arable land used for agriculture is planted for crops grown for livestock, there is ample support for the statement that animal agriculture is the leading driver for approximately 1/3 of the land lost on Earth due to desertification. %50 of all the grains grown worldwide are fed to livestock, and 1/3 of all the planet is dedicated to animal agriculture. The US meat industry produced some 1.4 billion tons of waste in 1997, 5 tons of animal waste for every US citizen. A single cow can produce between 66 to 132 gallons of methane a day. The average US vehicle gas tank can hold about 16 gallons of gas. The Alliance for Global Conservation estimates that 36% of all the species on our planet are in danger of extinction. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of species extinction, habitat destruction, water pollution, ocean dead zones, and desertification. Taking into consideration that 1 pound of beef requires upwards of 2,500 gallons of water to produce, compared to only 25 gallons of 1 pound of wheat, the water footprint of a person consuming a high meat diet could be 100 times greater than that of a person consuming only plant foods. The same applies for land use and oil use. Many arid areas of the world cannot support 1 cow per 2 acres and require 50 plus acre per cow, compared to a crop such as potatoes that can produce 50,000 pounds plus per acre. The energy fuel inputs are similar. 1 calorie of beef can take 27 times more energy to produce than soybeans. Okay, and here we arrived to Zaova lake, which is not far from town of Požarevac. Just gonna have a vegan lunch here, explore the area, and maybe I'm gonna swim later on. And here we see some children picking up trash after the old generation that is not environmentally conscious. And here are some street dogs eating leftovers from our lunch. So if people can't take care of the street dogs, the male dogs should be definitely castrated. So we see that there is a path going around the lake, so we'll try to go around the whole lake and come back the other way. So it's a pretty sad reality that nice places in nature with abundant trees and a nice lake like this are pretty rare. As I said before, the animal agriculture is the leading factor for deforestation and habitat destruction. So for people who want to see more nature like this and not just fields, they should definitely stop eating meat or at least reduce the consumption. Animal agriculture is also the main cause of water pollution, simply because cows and other animals produce much more waste than humans, and the waste is not treated properly. And some people believe that grass-fed beef is actually better for the environment because of carbon sequestration in the soil. Grass-fed beef is actually worse for the environment because it takes longer time to grow an animal. The soil is usually overgrazed and degraded, so the carbon sequestration doesn't really work. It's kind of sad that the old generation doesn't care and now the young generation have to clean up their mess. And even if you show them the evidence and research how animal agriculture is the main contributor to climate change and environmental destruction, they still don't care and actually argue with you that animal agriculture is better for the environment, like grass-fed beef. And of course they have no evidence to support it, same like when they argue that eating meat is healthy for you. So I'm not saying that all generation is stupid and kind of ignorant to the facts, but as I see, the majority of them are. One of the reasons could be that they really believed in a state and government. They didn't have the alternative sources of information like we have now, the internet. All they had was a TV, radio and a few books that you could read. In socialism, even the books could be written so they agree with the current regime. You literally couldn't write a book how bad the animal agriculture is. So I guess many of the older people don't want to be dumb and that they've been like betrayed by the government and lied to about all these issues now. So their ego is stronger than what they're presenting with the evidence. So they're just gonna keep doing what they're doing and keep destroying their environment, their health, and killing the animals. And as you see, there is a lot of trash here just chucked in nature, so I noticed that environmental consciousness in Serbia is really low. The recycling and trash management system is not really developed here, so especially in small villages, people just chuck the trash in nature like this. And even most of the young generation here is just sitting in a coffee shops and just concerned about materialistic things, just buying more shit, and they don't give a double shit about the environment either. So who is there to blame? Definitely the government programs and their propaganda. I would say mainly all the generation of what they taught to their kids, that materialistic things are more important than nature. But hopefully a new trend will arrive in Serbia soon and it will change like in other countries. So it's funny, when it comes to wild animals, people are somehow protective to them. Also about dogs, people never kill street dogs just like that, even there's so many of them. So it just goes to show how flawed this meat-eating ideology is, that there is no really any valid argument against veganism. So after we finished hiking around the lake, I decided there was a time for a swim. And the water was pretty warm. I was a little bit concerned that there might be some sewage here, but it was good, it didn't smell bad, and I actually swam around the whole lake. And then I decided to be more adventurous and jump from this platform here. So it was great to get out of my comfort zone here because I didn't know how deep the water is, but it was pretty deep. And there was actually a snake swimming by, so I was a little bit scared, but it passed pretty quickly. It was the last push to get out of my comfort zone. I wanted to do a front flip, but it didn't go really well. So as you saw, I landed straight on my back, which hurt pretty badly, so I'm not gonna try that again.